Alright guys, so in today's video I'm going to go through yesterday's Asian session, London session, and today's Asian session also. All the trades I took, the things that I called out for the Discord, the wins, the losses, everything in between. Let's be completely realistic here and talk about all the macro trades and all the trades taken outside of macros and the frameworks that are used to enter these. If you're new here guys, my name's Ruben and I've been trading macros and ICT roughly for around 1.5 to 2 years. So April, May this year will be 2 years, getting very close to that point. Now I'm going to post every single day. They're going to be trade recaps, psychology videos, but mostly just the trades that I take or that I call for the Discord, just so you guys can see the reality of trading. You aren't going to win every day, neither am I. I'm not going to win every single trade. Yesterday, for example, wasn't an average day. It was probably less than average, subpar, but I still managed to pull out green on the day. Now what you can see here is an image from the Asian session. And for me, I took one loss to start and then I took a winning trade after that. There are many situations, this is realistic, many situations where I might have to execute the trade twice, even though everything looks good the first time. So the first trade that I took was actually a short position during the macro from this inversion gap. And I was targeting this level of sell side liquidity. Now I like this sell side because we had a busy underneath that and we're working in this range from this high to this low. It pulled back up above equilibrium. Didn't work out, I was stopped out on this candle, as you can see here with this blue arrow. Fair enough, all good. Now, as the price swept this swing high, this one right here, once we sweep this high like this, I'm now interested again. Even though, we're not in the macro, I still have a clear draw. By this point too, guys, you've got to keep in mind that we have these two relative equal lows. So in terms of like journaling and things like that, that's completely fine. I was stopped out. Could I have mitigated risk as we, traded towards this low? Of course, but I thought price would really just push through. Didn't think I needed to, and it is what it is. A lot of people think that you have to be right every single time in terms of how you mitigate risk. Not the case and not the truth. You just have to have a greater than 50% score. So for example, if 65% of the time you move your stop loss at the correct time, then you'll be sweet. If you pair that with a good strategy, macros, a good draw on liquidity and a decent win rate and risk to reward, you'll have a profitable edge. That's important. So took a loss here. Price swept this high. By this point, we had actually reacted from optimal trade entry. And I really like that. So as you can see on this execution, I entered off this candle as we started to push down. I did not wait for the inversion to form, but why? Because we had impulse. We reacted from optimal trade entry. No, we're not inside the macro, but the draw on liquidity is really clear. And this will come down to confidence. This will come down to personal preference. What sort of trades do you want to take? Do you want to trade just in macros? Do you want to trade slightly outside? I'll trade both, 85% being inside the macro, plus or minus 5 minutes. But in this situation, I'm using the macro, I'm using that swing high that was generated during the macro as an important point. And now we've generated, obviously, these two relative equal lows, one being formed inside this macro. So Asian session, not too bad, ended up green. So one loss and one win. Could have mitigated the stops earlier, but that's okay, we move on. And we look at the London session here, and it was quite choppy, quite messy. So what you're going to see in a sec, I'll get the executions up on the screen and I'll show you that Google Drive folder. There was quite a lot going on here, but long story short, I took two shorts or one short and then one long. Both of these were a stop out, both reduced stop out. And the one that actually profited and brought me back to break even on this account was a long position from here, taking price higher. So originally what I wanted to see, because we've just been ranging, right? We've been stepping up and then down, then up and then down and then up. I wanted to see price come down a little bit more before moving up. So my idea was we accumulate here, we manipulate. I wanted to see a larger manipulation down into this fair value gap or this volume imbalance. Did that happen? No. So as I entered short from this order block creation, I saw this candle, got out of the trade, stopped out. Very small loss, mitigated the risk really well there, pretty happy with that. Pricing came up here, inverted this space, really impulsive candle, entered long from here, saw this candle print and close. And then what I needed to do is I needed to make sure that I manage my risk because this here was the target. This swing high became the buy side liquidity draw. So the position looks something like this. Started here, had my stop loss, covering this swing low if we just move this across. And then as price traded up and then closed on this candle, I moved my stop loss like this. For me, that's completely feasible. Now, what did price do? It came and it stopped me out for a reduced loss. It was only about, 4.5 handles. So on this trade, lost about the same. On this trade, lost about the same, 4.5 handles, give or take. And then the next trade, I actually pyramided into the position. I entered once as we rejected up here and pushed through, and then once when we traded back, taking off my money roughly at this point. So London session was a break-even session for me. Overall, the direction was right because, we just stepped up and up and up. These are the things that will happen that I want to talk about. And for me, it does not concern me because I have a way that I mitigate risk and it works more than it doesn't. So yes, people might say, well, why did you move your stop? Or why didn't you do this? And they might say it to me, they might say it to you. But what's really important, guys, this is reality. You have to stick to something. You have to stick to a method of mitigating risk. You can't chop and change and go, oh, this and that. You got to stick to something. Have faith in it. If it works out one day, great. If it doesn't work out the next, that's also great. Stick to your model, stick to your strategy. And on the screen here, I'll get up a screenshot and you're going to see my executions in this kind of segment. Very choppy, very messy, but we pulled out with a break even on that particular account and for the London session. So as you can see on the screen, guys, I've marked it out here. Took an initial loss right here. You can see I entered short there, took the loss on this candle because I closed it. Entered here again, pyramided in, and then got stopped out on this candle. It is unfortunate, but these things happen. So I saw price dig back down into optimal trade entry, sweep this low, react back up. I've entered, pyramided back in, and then taken my profits here above this buy side target by a couple ticks. And that's how it goes, right? This first trade was a macro-based trade. This trade here was using what the previous macro has done, but I'll take trades in between macros if the confirmations are there. Right, so again, 85% of my trades occur around that macro framework and time frame, but there are a portion of trades that I will take if the market structure is there. I'm happy to take that because I've seen those repeatable patterns. So not too bad yesterday. Overall, I took 3 losses, 2 of those were smaller, and I took 2 wins. One account was break even, the other account was in profit for the day. But let's move on to today. And today obviously is the 25th. And let's talk about the Asian session. Clean sweep for me. And let me just get up the screenshots here so you guys can see. Now, this is something that I mentioned to my premium Discord, and I will post live analysis outside of the Zoom calls, which happen throughout the week for the London session. And I'll pretty much say here, I'm looking to play this as a range, focused on price now as we're in the macro. So I'm looking to see this area respected. Why? Because we have all the low resistance, we're in OTE, we can reverse, we can retrace, it's feasible. Now, going back to Google Drive, here's a screenshot. It was very messy to get to the buy side, but I like the fact that we're stalling here. I like the fact that we had a change in the state delivery. And I was very happy to take this trade. Stop below this wick because of how choppy it had been. Took a partial here and then took the full TP there. Now I'm really happy with that. That was a really nice trade, to be honest. And the next one, which was on the secondary account, was this one right here. Now, both had the same framework. Both used optimal trade entry. Both used buy side being low resistance. The first one was executed during a macro. The second was executed outside of a macro. But you can see how clean this is. You can see how much recovery we have. We come down, we sweep these relative equal lows, we invert this fair value gap, I enter. Price pulls back, I enter again. And then what's the macro do? The macro spools to buy side liquidity, and then I take the rest off here. So you can use macros in different ways, guys. I want to illustrate this. You don't have to win every single trade. You don't have to win every single day. If we were to put all this together now, right, and have a look at price action now, put all this together. Yesterday, if we accumulate all the losses and all the wins. Yesterday, there was 3 losses and there were 2 wins. Today, there's 2 wins. So yesterday, there's a negative. It's less than 50%. You're going to have days like that. Today, it's at 100%. You take the average of that. You take the average of this throughout a week span, and you're going to find profitability. Do not let this cause you to be nervous. Do not let this to cause you to be, unsatisfied or, have lack of faith in your system, because the system, if you've collected data on that, will work. And again, same thing. I'm going to apply the same thing today when I talk through the Discord. Any potential opportunities, any trades that might play out. And I'll apply it every single day, whether it's a win, whether it's a loss, whether it's a break even, a small loss, anything. I'll apply the same thing day in and day out. So I hope this video is insightful. I'm going to start to make videos like this. Pretty much every single day I'll be posting on YouTube. Trade recaps, things that I call out from my Discord, psychology, everything in between. If you like this video, guys, or this type of format, going through the trades that I take, the wins, losses, everything in between, leave a comment below. If you're new here, subscribe, and we'll talk very soon. Peace out.